Initial D is probably one of my favorite classics of all time, ranging from fantastic music, nostalgic animation, and PlayStation CG, as well as knowledge of cars. I would definitely consider Initial D a classic due to it being made in 1998 and lasting for a total of 26 episodes. Now, I do feel that most people could understand my sympathy for this statement, but I have never actually believed I would gladly enjoy 8 hours of a driving anime. Similar to any other sports anime either. It's something you never expect to catch you, but when it does it with such great impact. However, Initial D is by far the most popular racing anime there is till this day in over 20 years and probably will never be topped. Now before I get into the main part of the video, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who supports this channel, and if you're not, maybe consider subscribing or checking out some other videos. Anyways, back to the video. When it comes to cars, this show loves to show off, showing some beautiful classic Japanese drift cars that are notorious in movie scenes, magazines, as well as pop culture for car junkies. The list of cars that appear in the anime aren't some made up cars that don't exist, but in fact real cars with their specs kept almost as truthful down to the engine. In case there are some car fanatics here that love cars, here are some of the most popular cars in the show. We have the Toyota Trueno AE86, the Subaru WRX STI Type R, the Mazda RX-7 Turbo 2 FC, and also the Mazda RX-7 Twin Turbo, and I can't forget one of my most favorite cars since childhood, the Nissan GT-R R32, as well as Evo 4, and so many other goddamn beautiful cars. You don't need to know a lot about cars to enjoy the sheer beauty that Initial D shows them as all the cars have a personal identity and are almost marked as individual boss stages, working up the chain by having individual races between each one, making you wonder what classic will show up for the next race, which gives you more than enough time to admire every single car's beauty. Now, not only do we have a beautiful car roster, but to back up each of these intense races, we have none other than 90s Eurobeats track list supporting these scenes. If you're a gamer, anime weeblord or lordess, or even a Amogus meme star, you've probably heard of some of these songs like Gas Gas Gas, Running in the 90s, No One Sleeps in Tokyo, and other hot bangers. Seriously, go check the playlist and put them on your Spotify. Like, do it now, come on. I'm not sure about a lot of you guys that watch anime and the age range you follow, but I do believe a lot of you are younger. But even if you were born in the 2000s, unfortunately, you should still give the old classic animation styles a chance and try and watch the show. You may find some new love. Hey, it might be your favorite. It's quite similar to how people say Pokemon Emerald, Fire Red tend to hold out even till this day, regardless of outdated graphics, and I say the same thing for Initial D. Yeah, fight me, I said it. To further emphasize the graphics, Initial D released in 1998, 4 years after the PlayStation 1 had fully been released, which was almost groundbreaking graphics in the CG market. This led to Initial D further releasing arcade racing games, but also gave them the ingenious idea to mix 3D PlayStation graphics with anime, which are easily noticeable, but massively forgivable thanks to the intense scenes and music to back up everything. Unfortunately, I had to break my own code and watch Initial D in English dub rather than Japanese, as I couldn't get a working link nor had the energy to search any further. But regardless, watching the show in English dub actually wasn't as atrocious as I thought it would be. It's nowhere near as bad voice acting as I anticipated, which goes to show how much money they put into their Western release, which makes you wonder how much more effort did they put into their own native launch. Even their voice actors are top notch, early in their careers but eventually becoming great voice actors in so many popular shows. The voice actors you see on screen for the Japanese release are quite big names and are probably a part of all your favorite shows as a lot of main characters actually. Lastly, the director Masaki Shinichi did a great job with screen composition as well as storytelling. The story was quite unoriginal and bland, but he managed to pull out the best parts from the story by building up tension with long races that can pull over 2 episodes, but they do not feel as if they're dragged out or overdone. I used to hold back on watching Initial D based on how it looked and how vintage it was, but I didn't respect the great masterpiece that was put in front of me. Masaki Shinichi even had some really compelling monologue scenes that felt like the car version of Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. I have no idea how I made this comparison, but listening to the scenes of both of them made me feel and understand the similarity of how great storytelling is done. Overall, no matter how old you are or young, consider adding this to your library, as this is by far a classic that'll never age terribly. The scenes can be quite rough here and there, and the story may feel as if it's a bit more than obvious, but there's an itch to go down deeper the rabbit hole and support the characters on their journey of racing. When you're done with this show, you'll more than likely look at yourself and wonder whether you should get your first race car and drive the streets like a maniac. Trust me, I myself am now considering buying a classic race car and going crazy. Maybe try join me. That sums up pretty much everything. I've been NAISU, thanks for watching, and peace out.